Do you want me to look right at this camera here? Welcome everybody to the Old Man in the Three. I am your new host, Cam Johnson, and I'm joined today. I am your new host, Cam Johnson, and I'm joined today by Tommy. Hold on, let me
What's
do that
up,
again.
man?
No, let me do it again. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. It just feels so
Reps,
weird.
man.
This is usually the part that everybody
This is
else
hard,
does,
by
and
the
I'm
way,
sitting
dude.
over
It's
here on the
hard.
side. Give me the spiel again that you want me to hit. I am your new host, Cam Johnson. Nah, I was gonna do that.
Let's start. Why you wanted to take over the OM3 mantle overall?
Okay, time out. I want to start from the beginning. I didn't like the beginning.
All right. Okay.
Just gonna rep it. We're just gonna rep it until
We're gonna rep it till you're like, that's it. Yeah.
Welcome to the Old Man in the Three. I am your new host, Cam Johnson, but I'm joined today, as always, by Tommy Alter. Tommy, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Let's explain to the audience, because you are not this is not going to be surprising that you were in this spot, but your decision to take over the OM3 mantle. We're going to do these episodes every Tuesday. Can you kind of walk through for everybody your thought process, what you like about podcasting in general, why you decided to make this step?
Yeah, man. First of all, I got to give a lot of credit to you, Tommy, and to everybody behind the scenes that has made the pod go, for inviting me onto the Old Man in the Three a couple years ago, and for kind of bringing me on to the Young Man in the Three, giving me a spot to kind of just talk basketball, talk the game. And through that process, I kind of saw that, it's a good way for us as players to get our voice out, to share perspective that maybe the fans want to see, that they want to hear, and to maybe give stories behind the scenes, or just little tidbits of information that is relevant to what's going on in our game. And I think it supplements everything that goes on with the NBA growing and growing and growing in popularity, and the amazing fans that kind of support it as we go, just giving them another view behind the scenes.
One housekeeping note we should acknowledge. So we're going to put these episodes out every Tuesday. We're still going to have Young Man in the Three episodes every Thursday, which are going to be sort of the normal check-ins around the league. We taped a really good one with the Heat that'll come out this Thursday. We should acknowledge we taped this episode with Aaron right before the season started in OKC. So he's obviously going to be out for a couple weeks now with the hammy injury. But we get into all things with, he's an amazing guy, amazing interview, amazing everything. I wanted to get your thoughts on where you guys are at and where you're at personally. You're sitting at 14-5 right now. You've been shooting lights out the last couple of weeks since you got back from the injury, but just how you feel overall about, where we are with everything.
I feel good about it. Obviously, this early season, whatever it is, 19 games into the season, there's so much room for growth, and for us, there's a ton. The 5 games that we've lost have been close games, games that we should be able to close out and win, but you learn from those things. You never want to peak 10, 15, 20 games into the season. You want to ride the wave and continue to get better and continue to get better and continue to chase those goals. So that's where we are right now. Obviously, we have some injuries. Those guys are rehabbing every day, fighting to get back. In the meantime, we're continuing to build our program, build our, offensive principles, defensive principles, and get to where we want to go.
In terms of guests on the show, it's gonna be a mix of people from the basketball and the non-basketball world, but we're gonna have a lot of your teammates on. We've done some of that already, and that's gonna continue. Outside of the obvious, and we'll talk about Joker and Jamal and just the kind of crazy pace that they are on right now. Outside of the obvious, are there teammates in particular so far that you've just been particularly impressed by?
I just think it's across the board. I could go to everybody and highlight their contributions. You go across our team, you look at guys like Jonas Valanciunas, who's averaging 9 points in 13 minutes. Just immediate impact, rebounding the ball, scoring the ball, defending. Tim, what he's able to do off the bench, get hot just like that, quick 7 threes the other day. And the guys that are hurt, AG, CB, what they've contributed. So it's just been across the board. It could be anybody, any given night, and it's a great group to play with in terms of you just you have so many options, so many weapons.
I was going to say the one other person I wanted to shout out. We did an episode with Peyton over the summer in Vegas, and he was talking about, I don't know if he talked about it on the show, but he was definitely talking about just the 3-point shooting overall and how that was an emphasis for him. And he's had a few of those games so far this year where you're just like, this is a different dude. You can see the work.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it. And, he's shooting high 30s, 39, almost 40% from three right now. She's shooting with confidence. He's taking open shots. He's aggressive on the offensive end. And then he's doing what he always does in impacting the game on the defensive end. So another guy that's taken a huge leap this year. And without further ado, here's our conversation with AG. Again, we recorded this a couple weeks ago, right before the season. Enjoy. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Old Man and the Three, the rebooted version. We have a special guest today. We have Aaron Gordon in the building, current Denver Nugget teammate, and just awesome human being all around. So let's get to it.
With your let's shout out the fit for a second.
Okay,
Cozy
361. Yeah, little cozy sweatsuit. It actually has sweatsuit. There's pleats in these,
That's classy.
A pleated
When'd
cozy
you start
sweatsuit.
it? When'd you start the brand?
Oh, wow. So I got signed with the brand maybe, I think 4 years ago.
Yeah.
No, 5 years ago. Because, wow. Actually, it's longer than that. I'm on my 6th AG shoe. So it's been 6 years with 361. And I was going to go with Nike. But Nike was going to just offer basically just like merch.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm going to go get a bag, So 361, liked what I was doing. And it was just like a good pair. They started as a running shoe company and then transitioned to basketball. And they had like Kevin Love, I think, Jimmy Fredette. And then after that, it was me. And yeah, it's been a match made in heaven ever since.
How much input do you get on your shoes?
A lot.
Do you get to design them yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I get to design. I get a lot of like collaborative input. So I just basically pull from like retros, like 90s, 2000 vibes. Like
I've noticed, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
They kind of look like almost like foam posits, kind of. These are the AG6s a little bit.
The AG6s are the black and silver ones you've been wearing, right?
Yeah, bro. Like I look at like some of the stuff in my closet that I had from like the Orlando days. Be like, oh God, this
Style
is
changes too. Fashion changes.
disgusting.
Like back then, what year is this now? 20, but you were like, you started
2025.
no,
I
I'm
started
saying
in 20,
14?
yeah, like 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
it was like
man.
skinny jeans, like
Exactly.
skinny
But
ribs.
That was fly back then.
So
I mean, that was
nasty,
fly
bro.
back then.
How
It'll
was
come
the-
back.
how was-
It's gonna come back too.
How-
Yeah, just keep it. Just keep it.
It's gonna come back.
I hope not.
It's
bro.
going to. I just it's it.
How
it's
was
it
the
goes.
how was the draft night fit?
It was slim. It was trim. It was like teal. Classic. It was a classic suit. Can't go wrong. To me, I like baggy. But like you were saying, like, because in like, what was it, like 01
Mm-hmm.
or like late 90s, it was baggy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got skinny. And now it's baggy again. So like, it might come back to
It's gonna
skinny.
come back.
I hope it doesn't. I hope
Do you
not.
still have that
So,
draft day suit?
Yeah.
It's timeless.
Yeah. It's a
You
good
think
one.
it still fits, or you
Hell no.
Nah.
I got big.
different version of yourself?
Mhm.
So how about your background? Your dad played, right?
Mhm.
You have a lot of athletic background in your family. You grew up in San Jose.
Mhm.
What was your game like in high school?
I was dunking everything.
Everything.
Yeah. I was just
You still kind of dunk everything.
still kind of dunk everything, bro. I kind of did a little bit of everything. I was athletic and I could dribble. So I could cross somebody and get to where I needed to go and then just jump and dunk on their head. You know what I mean? Those were like, that's why I was able to stick in the NBA for so long.
When did you grow?
Maybe like 14, 15. I was like 5'7" to 5'10" to 6'3" to 6'5". So it was like a jump from like freshman year to sophomore year. I grew up playing point guard. And so that's why I could handle the ball. And I was always the smallest in my family. So I had to get around them and like be quicker than them. And then I grew. So I think the handle is slept on and being able to like play make and bring the ball up the floor and distribute, like kind of set the offense up and set my teammates up. It goes like kind of like underappreciated and like under the radar a little bit. And like, that's why I've always been able to just stay on the floors because I can play make, and take pressure off the guards.
Were you super physical in high school?
Yeah, I was pretty physical, man. I was getting Anwoods and hollering at people. I was telling people, weight room, man. Yeah, weight room. Like that was a big one, man. I'm not even going.
We're gonna pull the video when we cut this up. We're gonna.
I mean, I remember
there.
the clips
It's
on
there.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I remember the clips on YouTube. He's not lying. He's like a man amongst boys, and not even like old for your class either, which was the thing. I mean, we're almost the same age, right? So these, you're senior, I'm a junior. You're a junior, I'm a sophomore. So I remember that. How did you end up choosing Arizona? What went into that?
Honestly, I never wanted to go to college. I wanted to be like T-Mac, like KG, like Bron. I wanted to be like them, you know what I mean?
So if you could have, you would have.
Absolutely.
Declared
I
straight.
think your freshman year, my sophomore year, that's when they made the rule 1 year in college, right?
That was 2010.
Yeah. So it was like my sophomore year. They were like, you got to go one real college. I was like,
God.
I felt like I was going, man. I felt like I was going pro. I never had thought about college basketball. I was always like, my eyes were set on the NBA. So then that process started. And you want to know who like was like the tipping scale? It was TJ McConnell.
Right.
I went to go visit him in Arizona.
So he had already been there 1 year when you got there.
Boy, yeah, he came from
Duquesne.
Yeah.
That's your boy.
Yeah,
that's our boy.
That's backyard.
Come on, he's a
That's
dog.
backyard.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Huh?
Wait, did he recruit you, or you just watched him and you were like, I got to do this because he's here?
I just watched him. I went to Arizona. There was Nick Johnson was there. Brandon Ashley was there. Elliot Pitts was there. There was a lot of soldiers, Oakland soldiers already there. So it was already intriguing to me. A lot of the people from my AAU team were going there. And then I went to visit and I was watching practice and he threw a 3/4 court pad, 3/4 court, no look. Like he was looking to the wing and like threw it over the top to the rim running big. And I was like, oh, that was a dime. That was different. That was really elite. That was pro. I was like, all right, I'm going to go here. That was a huge factor in why I went there.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk about TJ almost every episode on the show.
TJ always sneaks
he
his way
always
into
comes up
conversation.
somehow. Like it's just from the beginning.
Did you think he'd make it? I mean, this is both you. You guys left obviously at the same time. He was a fifth year. You were one and done. But now you guys are both going into year 12.
Yeah.
Did you think he'd make it that far?
Well, that's crazy that TJ's going into 12, bro. Just because I remember talking to him about it at Arizona. And he was such a humble guy. He was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm like, TJ, you're going to be like a 14, 15-year pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty obvious,
Yeah.
you know? And he just, decade later, you know what I mean? He's still doing it at a high level.
Is there a part of like you watching him like in the playoffs this past year, just sort of do his thing and like take over games, like big playoffs, final games at points where it feels like gratifying? You're like, I knew you before you were doing all this.
Doesn't surprise me at all, you know, to see TJ step up in the biggest moments because like that's just who he is. He's just a dog, man. I don't know what's in the water out there in Pittsburgh. Yeah,
it's blue collar. That's all it is, bro.
That boy works.
Super blue collar, and that's just how people are. He's definitely a Pittsburgh dude for sure. But I've seen him. I've known TJ since we were kids, and when he was a kid, he was like the smallest player on the court, no matter what court he was on. He was just always scrappy, outwork you. Do you guys remember Terrell Pryor? Played football at Ohio State. Number 1 football recruit overall in his high school class, was also OD Hooper. He was top 100, maybe around 30 to 40 in his high school class for basketball too. Obviously ended up playing football, but I remember going to watch them play. It was at Duquesne. This was TJ's freshman year of high school. TJ's dad was a coach at their high school. He went to Chartiers Valley. Terrell Pryor went to Jeanette. And TJ couldn't have been more than 5'3". He gets subbed. He didn't start the game. He gets subbed into the game. And Terrell's like 6'6", 230 in high school. First play in, steals a ball from him, goes down, hits a 3. And all he did was run around, steal the ball, and shoot 3s back then. Like he didn't really handle the ball quite as much, but he was going to shoot it every time he got it. And he was going to, like, he always was crafty stealing the ball. And so, man, like seeing his development over the years, like it's improbable to say the least. You know, like just from a athletic trait standpoint. But
I heard he got quadruple doubles in high school.
Yeah, he did.
That's out of pocket.
We pull videos of him.
He did. It was the way they played. It was the way they played Chartiers Valley.
Quadruple double.
They would condition like crazy before the season, I heard. And TJ, like 30-point quadruple doubles. They press, trapped. So he's getting steals, he's getting rebounds, so is it like they were in our conference, my high schools. And it was my brother's age. Him and my brothers are the same age. They couldn't beat him.
He's overly humble. If I got a quadruple double in high school, listen, you would never hear the end of it. I'd be talking so much shit.
He's pulling up from anywhere. See, the funny thing about them too is their hoops were slanted downward at their high school.
So he was like almost
super
dunking.
shooters, just yeah. No, any three you shot from like top of the key, like
bouncing.
it made it easy.
What was the first moment in your career / life where you felt like you were, once you sort of took the physical jump, where you felt like you were playing against somebody who had a physical advantage over you?
That's a good question. It took a while. It took basically getting to the NBA and then I like looked around and I was like, okay, everybody here is good and everybody here is fast and everybody here is strong. And it's not just America, you know what I mean? You got guys from all over the world that are just nice and fast. You know, I was a kind of a tweener coming in, whether I wanted to play the small forward or power forward. It was still 3 out, 2 in. And I think we were playing the Rockets, and I think it was like Nene and Chris Humphreys down there or something. I'm like posting up on Chris or Nene and like leaning on him and like trying to quick spin, and he just like bumps me out of bounds. And the ref is like, what do you
brothers or something?
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do? Like, turnover, going the other way. I was like, oh shit, I got to get my weight up. I've been screaming weight room at high school kids for the past 5 years. You know what I mean? Now it's a smaller game. You know, everybody's quicker, everybody's more skilled. Not as many like brolic dudes in the league as when we first got in.
Yeah, it's probably crazy seeing that transformation. I mean, I came in years after, so it was already like 2 bigs were dead essentially by the time I got to the NBA. But it's probably crazy, like going back and thinking about all the sets you ran and the pace of the game and how it looked. What was that process like for you when you got to the league and you realized, all right, everybody here is nice. Everybody here is nice. Everybody here is strong. Everybody here is athletic. Who helped you out through that? What were the ups and downs of it? Walk me through that.
Yeah, shout out Scott Perry. Scott Perry was a GM that drafted me to Orlando. And he was with the Knicks for a little bit too. Basically, he was like, Aaron, every night you got to be the most athletic dude on the floor and you got to be the most energetic player on the floor. So when I first got in, yeah, like my skill wasn't where it needed to be. But I was like a bat out of hell where I was running around like with my head cut off, you know what I mean? Guarding everybody, picking everybody up, getting tip dunks, you know what I mean? Diving for balls, just doing all the little nitty gritty hustle, dirty work here and there. And that paid dividends. And then just like sitting down on defense, you know, everybody needs a defender, bro. Like it's a cliche, but it's true. Like defense wins championships. Like if you hang your hat on defense and then build on top of that, you're going to be all right in this league. If you had the intangibles.
Your game has also just over time evolved a ton, right? So you come in super athletic, you can guard. Where did you see yourself developing more? Where, like how far you've come 12 years in versus where you thought you'd be? How does that stack up?
I'm not sure. You know, I think I probably would have tried to run point more when I first got in the league, you know? I think I was still stuck in like, if you're this tall or this big, you got to play wing, or if you're this tall or this big, you got to play big. You know, I probably would have tried to revolutionize once again, like the point guard position at like 6'9", 250 point. You know, so I would have went that route, and then now it's just trying to be a threat from all over the floor. You know, just have no weaknesses. That's all I'm trying to have in my game. At some point, like. We all got to stop playing. The ball's going to stop bouncing at some point. I just want to make sure when the ball does stop bouncing, I can say like there was no weaknesses in my game. I was able to get to it any way that I wanted to.
One thing that, you know, has gotten a lot of attention, it got a lot of attention last year, and I think it's going to continue this year, obviously, is your shooting. I didn't realize when we were doing the sort of research for this, in college, you shot 42% from the foul line.
Oof.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you're this past year you shot 44% from 3, you know, and the stats truly night and day. And so this has been, you know, it's a thing we talk about a lot about just shooting in general, but this has been a process that you clearly have worked a ton at over time to get to this point. When did that start in this journey in terms of even thinking about like, I don't want to just be a better shooter. I want to be a, you know, elite shooter.
I mean, it's been a long process. I think the free throw line is a mental thing for sure. You know?
It is. A lot of it.
People don't understand that. It's like, first off, it's out of rhythm. You know, you're the center of attention. The game is stopped. You know, you just ran, I don't know, basically like a mile before you got to the free throw line. And now you had to calm down and make a free throw. And knowing you're finna miss it. You know, like, so I think it was just getting over the mental hurdle. A lot of it was just repetition. And then thinking about just winning. You got to be able to make free throws. You got to be able to make shots for your team to win. And if you're going to miss free throws, you can't be in at the end of games. And you're going to let your team down. So a lot of it was just predicated on wanting to see my team win, wanting to help my team succeed.
So what technical changes have you made to your shot over the years, would you say?
So many, bro. So many. I'm so nitpicky with my shot.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen it.
Yeah, you know, like just with everything. You're the same way though. You're like a perfectionist, right? And like almost like sometimes too smart for your own good sometimes, you know, where we are overcorrecting and overthinking and overanalyzing as opposed to just like being critical with it and shooting it and putting the ball in the basket. You know what I mean? It's just making it relaxing and just letting it do what it do. The most important thing for my shot was speeding it up. So it didn't give me time to like think about everything that I'm doing. You know, if you're just like winding up, you're like, okay, my elbow's in. Okay, now I got my hand behind the ball. Okay, my guide hand's not blocking my shot. All right, you know, I got it lined up. Okay, I'm lifting. You know, there's like, okay, my fingertips. There's so much that goes into shooting as opposed to just catching it and just firing it. I don't even have a chance, give myself a chance to like.
Yeah, to that point, one thing I really like that you do, it seems like in your shooting workouts, we kind of shoot around the same time every day after practice. You go through your spots, right? You go through your spots. You'll go through your slow work. You'll go through your like, you know, methodical, this is my shooting process, whatever. But it seems like every time towards the end, you'll pull a Z's or one of the coaches aside and kind of just have them play dummy defense where you have to get a shot off kind of in a box, right? And I really like that you do that just to like establish flow, right?
Yeah.
Like establish flow, let the field take over. Like I just did all this methodical work. Let my body move. Let me feel the shot. Let me, you know, make shots under pressure. And one thing that you've done consistently so far in these couple preseason games that we've played is you've had maybe 4 or 5 late clock, ISO situations, a midi, a couple threes, where you're able to like, you know, almost turn it off and look like you're at the playground. Like it was when I was in the corner, I was going to go set like a slip screen, something, get some action. But then you look, I'm like, oh no, he got it. I was staying in the corner. And so you kind of got to your boogie, got to a 3. And I think that's a really cool addition to your game. Like anybody can do it, but to actually make the shots is different. And you find the ball in your hand. So, you know, I think between that and your overall leap in percentage recently, like those are huge additions to the game. And they've been huge for our team so far.
Appreciate that, man. I'm just trying to shoot like you,
man.
Tell you a story, man. We
they
were
go
playing.
In. Sometimes they don't.
We were playing 3 spots in a row, so you got to make 5 spots, 3 in a row from each 5 spots. From each of the 5 spots: corner, wing, top, wing, corner, corner, wing, top, wing, corner, and that's the game. So if you miss, it's the next person's turn. I think I shot 1, CB shot 1, and then Cam shot. And I basically didn't get to shoot again, bro. Like he rallied them off. It was 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row. He might have missed. I'm cold. I have a shot. Miss another one. He goes 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 in a row. Just like, thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah, we were just shooting 4-pointers. And they're like, let's play another game. I'm like, we're warmed up, ready to go. But that's the drills like that. Like for me, it's almost like for that one in specific, I just slowed everything down. So I'm not necessarily shooting like game-like shots, but I think one thing that I've always focused on is in workouts, like I'll try to do a little bit of everything. So there'll be times where I shoot, like, you know how we do Nuggets 100 and stuff like that, where it's just a bunch of shots out of different things. And everybody's trying to get a high score. The difference in speed that you go completely dictates your score. So if you slow down, it's not super hard to get somewhere in the 80s if you just take it really slow. But just one little uptick in speed, like you go a little bit more game speed, it becomes, you're looking at 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
And so I like to be able to balance working on both. And everything is obviously just to get that 39 to 40, that 36 to 38% in the game. So that's just how I look at it, bro. It's like you're not gonna make over 50.
I feel it, bro.
So how can you make the difference between 32 and 45? How can you gain ground to get to that 45, to get to that anywhere in the 40s?
So what I've been doing recently and how I've leaped my shooting during workouts, I shoot fast as fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know if we can cuss on this. I just shoot fast as fuck in workouts. Like dummy fast, you know what I mean? Like ridiculously fast. Like if you're coming off pin downs, if you're doing whatever, like fades to the corner, you're coming off DHOs, anything. Just like insanely out of control fast. So it's just like way sped up. So then once it comes to the game, it's just like slow. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now you're a lot slower. It's like more normal. And now you can shoot at your own pace. And it's still fast because that's what you're training at. So
yeah, that's
been a big one. It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
But
so are game shots. Like when fatigue kicks in, you're playing in Denver. It's, one long stretch in the first quarter, you're catching your first win. And that ball gets swung to you. You're wide open. You're like, oh man, hold on, let me take a second breathe. But like that, I mean, that's exactly my point, bro. It's like shooting is just how can we find ways to, if I'm shooting 7 a game, there's a huge difference between making 2 and 3. That's like your job is on the line. Difference between making 2 and 3. So how can I make that 1 more per game? And a lot of it does come with just being accustomed to the speed of the shot and being able to feel like those game reps are slower.
Yeah.
You play such a unique role. You have in college, Orlando, now here, both offensively and defensively, but like specifically with shooting on the offensive side of the ball. Do you have guys you like to watch to emulate who, not just great shooters like Cam or whoever it is, just, from a specific shooting standpoint, but guys who play similar roles, like jack of all trades to you in terms of figuring out how to do all the things you have to do, but then also, shoot 40% from 3.
Bro, I love Kawhi's game. Kawhi, the way that he's just so meticulous and methodical, like, and just fundamental, and the way that he just preps, You could watch Kawhi play. Obviously, like, boy D-Book.
Yeah.
Got a pretty jumper. That's tough to emulate, though. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is just textbook. You feel me?
Just smooth all around. Smooth game all around.
It is. Even MPJ, high release, and like the tough shot making that MPJ does. He like doesn't see defense, you know what I mean? So yeah, yours, bro. Like it's pretty shots.
Thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring the show. The NBA season is absolutely wild now, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is where I've been catching all of the action. You've got superstars going off every night, rookies making serious noise, and the in-season tournament bringing playoff intensity to November basketball. What makes this even better is that DraftKings Sportsbook just launched in Missouri. That's right. Missouri fans can get in on all of this. And if you're a new customer, they're offering an incredible deal. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. That's no joke. Richie, I always play around, as you know, and as our listeners and viewers know, on the futures on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. They're always kind of throwing in some different curveball things that are sort of interesting things to think about that I wouldn't have thought about otherwise. Taping this Monday afternoon, I was looking today. They have a consecutive titles futures for the Oklahoma City Thunder to win 3 consecutive championships in 25, 26, 27. Yes is at plus 550, which is crazy. Is a crazy thing, I think, in general to even think about and talk about. But the reality is they are currently 20-1. Jalen Williams just got back. They are not even close to at full strength. They haven't had a full roster yet, and they're steamrolling both the East and the West, and they may have 2 top 5 picks next year. So it's an interesting future to think about, that is for sure. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TEAM3. That's code TEAMTHREE. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Let's get into some Denver stuff. What was it like when you found out you got traded to Denver? What was your thought process? Did you have any input What was your outlook there?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a relationship with the GM.
In Orlando.
Yeah, in Orlando. Jeff Wellman, John Hammond. I was like, guys, I think I'm ready for a change of scenery. And, they could have been shysty about it, like a lot of times, like that can go one of two ways. And so shout out them. They really put me in a great opportunity in Denver. I think it was between like Denver, Boston, and like Houston. Houston was going to like give me a chance to expand my role. This is like all under this, like behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Because, like you're not really supposed to know where you're going or how it's going to go. So it was between Boston and Denver. It ended up being Denver. Tim Conley came and picked me up at my house in Orlando.
How much did you know about, obviously you had to play against them a bunch, but sort of the intricacies of the Denver roster before you got here?
Bro, no clue. No clue. Because, they were West, so we played them twice a year. And one time was in Denver, and I hated playing in Denver coming from Orlando. So I was like, man, get me out of here. I can't wait for this game to be over. And then the other time was in Denver or in Orlando, where we would play them strong until we were talking about this, maybe like 3-4 minutes to go. And then we would find a way to lose or they would find a way to win. But other than that, I didn't know much about them. But one of my homies was like, bro, you're going to Denver? Y'all are probably going to win a chip. And I was like, you think so? And he was like, yeah, probably, bro. Like just the way that it's set up, you know what I mean? You might be that piece. Went there. I think we went like 14-0 when I first got there. And then Maul got hurt. It's like, well, it's going to be tough, And then Maul came back and then Mike got hurt. So I was just, me and Yo and a couple other guys were just holding it down until everybody got healthy. And once everybody got healthy, we were like, oh, it's up. We're about to win this. Sure enough.
So like the most difficult thing about defending you guys in the past, defending us now, I should say, is how you operate along the dunker. Like I think you were my matchup last year when we played you guys in Brooklyn early in the season. And I'm trying to explain to the coaches, like, we game plan for it. We know you're going to be there.
They had y'all fucked up, and that's fucked up. Yeah,
it's wait, let's also go to a moment here. He hit me with this move. We're going to address this. You hit me with this move in Brooklyn last year, like a post up, like a little shimmy, got to the middle and hit a left-hand jump hook. And I was like, no way, man. I ain't never seen that before.
Got
that one was...
Meanwhile, I'm chasing him over flares. I'm like, bro, this is... What's up? I'm like, what's up with y'all team, bro? Like, why is it like this, bro? You need to be guarding CB right now. Like, why am I the one chasing you over flares right now? Why am I chasing you over screens? Why are you guarding me in the post?
We're trying everything.
This is asinine, bro.
Moving matchups. The point is, Denver's a hard matchup. Always has been. Obviously, Yoke brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Maul brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
But what was it like finding your space? Was there ups and downs? You said you immediately got in. You guys are going 14-0, right? Then you lose Maul. When did you kind of own that space as yours and learn to operate so efficiently there?
Bro, I love the dunker, bro. I love the dunker. I mean, love to dunk. You know what I mean? So it's perfect. You know what I mean? It's been a while since like the NBA has seen somebody that plays the dunker. You know what I mean? Like that's the position. It's like not the point guard, shooting guard, center, power forward, whatever. It's the dunker. You know what I mean? Like, I think playing USA basketball, playing behind the zone, I learned, keep your heels on the baseline and just be ready to just drop step and bang on whoever is coming over. So I love that, loved it, and it just fit naturally. And it's still going to be tough for teams, bro. It's going to be tough. You got Maul and Joker playing the 2-man. It's going to be UNCB snipers in the corner. They can't leave your body, and then they can't leave me they just have to pick their poison, and whatever poison they pick is going to kill them.
How long did it take you when you got there, and talk about the 14-0 run or whatever it was, to start to understand with Joker just kind of what you were dealing with from as a teammate standpoint?
That's a good question. Not entirely sure, but I know like I got like the most wide open looks that I had gotten in like 5 or 6 years of being in the NBA. And I said this before, but like in Orlando, everything I got was tough. You know what I mean? It was like, it's like an in and out, cross tween, through the lane, high off the glass with the left. And it was like, damn, that's 2 points. You know what I mean? That's going to be a long game, yeah. And then when I got to Denver, it was like the C option. It was just like a flex screen. and it couldn't leave Maul's body. And I like caught the ball in the paint and looked around. There was like nobody around me. And I just went up and dunked, and I was like, oh man, this is like way easier. Like,
This is different.
This is different.
This is different.
This is way different. And it's gonna be like that for like everybody. If you play the right way, like we just get open shots just because big fella, he just sees you. You know, if you're open, he sees you.
What do you think? I mean, there's so many things that make that two-man you mentioned special, but just being alongside it now for this amount of time, from your perspective, knowing what you're doing, what do you think just makes it so unique with other people trying to do, similar versions of this?
Joker's a monster. He's a monster. He's 7'1" and has the best floater in the NBA. What do you do about that? You know what I mean? Like, this dude he could average 40 if you wanted to, 40, 45 points. He could average that if you just put his head down and just got to it and just boogied every game. But he likes to assist. He likes to facilitate. He likes to get everybody involved. There's nobody like him right now in the NBA. Point blank period. And we take that after 6 years, like, I've seen him do some of the most ridiculous things. It's hard not to take him for granted anymore. But like, he does some crazy stuff. Like, his touch around the rim is nuts. He shot like 48. If you take away the heaves, you know what I mean? Like, from three. Like,
he has no problem shooting those, man.
That's what I'm saying. He's sick, dude. He's sick. And then like Jamal is just fucking nice. He's just icy with the ball, bro. Like, his ability to shift weights and just like his fearlessness and like just his like closing mentality too. Like, he's a closer too. So that was another thing in Orlando. Like, I wasn't like necessarily a closer. I didn't have the ability or the mental fortitude to be like, all right, this is where I'm getting to. This is the spot that I'm going to get to. I'm going to rise up and I'm going to win the game. Now it's different. I'm older. I can do it now. But when I got to Denver, I was like, we'd be up like 2-4. The game would get stymied. And I'm getting a little antsy because in Orlando, I'd have to go get the ball and try and make that play. And I'm in the dunker, and then I just see Maul come down, and he just like hits a fadeaway from the elbow and kind of ices the game. I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's nice to have that closer on the court too. So I think between them two, like, and then the rest of like the talent on our team, it's just different. It's just different. We got a different squad this year. Hard to explain. I don't think anybody can really emulate that.
What notes do you have on the other guys on the roster? You have the new guys, myself, Tim, JV, Brucey B's back. And then you got guys that aren't necessarily super young guys anymore, like CB, P. Watt, Jew's been taking steps. What do you see from guys across the roster?
Just talent, man. A lot of talent. Guys that can start in other places around the league, and guys that will end up starting in the league for a long time, and guys that are going to get paid in this league. Obviously, they're young, and they're going to find their spots, and they're going to find their way. With young guys, it's more about figuring out how to put the ball in the basket as opposed to like winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like reliably. Like, can you be reliable?
To me, it's like, it's a different game for like vets and for young guys. Young guys are trying to get a bucket. You know what I mean? They're just trying to like figure out like, how do I put this ball in the basket?
Yeah.
For guys that are older and have been around the game, it's like, in what way do I need to play tonight to win the game for my team? And then the buckets just inevitably happen. You know what I mean? Because I'm just out here trying to win the game for my team.
What have you seen?
The same thing he said. Like, the guys are hungry too. Remember, we had that conversation with P. Watt over the summer. Like, the thing that surprised me the most, that he has like a maturity about him. He came into the league young. He's still, on that younger side of his career. He's 23 years old maybe, but he's mature about what his job is on the court, right? And that's something that like you can't take for granted. Like you said, when you're an older guy, right? Like, you're trying to figure out ways to win the game. Like, how the flow of a game goes, how the flow of a season goes, and you're trying to win in those small margins. But when you're a young guy, you have this like crazy hunger. You're trying to figure it all out. And I think like a healthy mix is great, because those young guys are dogs. You know what I mean? They're dogs. P. Watt pick you up full. CB pressure the ball. And then you combine that. And then, not to say that we that the older guys won't do that. You know, everybody does it, but it's like it's a spirit. Like you have that spirit on a team. You know what I mean? It's like a confidence booster for them, from us, and then like an energy boost. You know, and vice versa. So
I think these guys are like potential all-stars.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I think
between CB, P. Watt, and Ju, I think they have potential for all-star caliber players.
And it's cool to see. I saw it in pickup when I first got there, and I was like, okay, like you can put a lot of guys out there and give them the ball and put some trust in them. And for us, it's going to be important, right? Like 82 seasons is a long season. We have championship aspirations, but you can't win it. We can't win it in tomorrow's preseason game.
Yeah.
We can't win it in game one. So there's going to be all types of ups and downs, but knowing that you have like, you know, that talent around to always support each other, I think should be a huge strength of ours. What you think?
I agree, bro. I agree. And I think as the season goes on, everyone's going to develop that belief, you know. Everyone's going to develop that understanding that, oh, okay, we can do this. And like, we need to do this. It'd be disappointing if we didn't.
With a little bit of time and perspective from last year's playoffs, do you sort of have any thoughts just on you on a personal level, what you accomplished? Because even though you guys didn't, you know, get where you wanted to be, you had a true playoffs for the ages, you know, and a thing that is like not been replicated before, and, you know, may not be replicated, you know, again for a long time. So your sort of own personal perspective on just like what you did last year.
I came across like a postseason like highlight tape of mine. It's like, damn, I was getting busy. I was wiggling. But I don't know. I mean, you saw the trophy today. You know, Josh, our owner there, or owner of the Nuggets, brought out the trophy and had a couple of words. You know, owner is crazy. Owner is crazy, but
I know. I say the same thing every time I say it. You say it like second nature.
Yeah.
And then you think about it like.
Josh Kroenke, the owner of the organization of the Denver Nuggets, brought out the Larry O'Brien trophy and had a couple of words. That's what it's all about. And all the like individual stuff is cool. I think it's great how you play individually, but if it doesn't amount to getting a trophy, it ain't worth it.
You had 2 game winners in the playoffs. A putback dunk, which probably was the first one in NBA history, a putback dunk for a game in a playoff game, and then a 3 to win one. Do you think that championship experience kind of lends itself to like just being calm and cool down the stretch in those playoff games? Like, you know, I feel like in my playoff, I haven't been there in years, you know, 2 years. But you just learn so much in those series. Like, I feel like it was huge for my game. What did that championship run mean to you? And what were the ways that it manifested itself in last year's playoffs?
Yeah, I think you said it best. You know, just being calm and like cool, collected and poised, you know, down the stretch. Yeah, bro, that's like the best, like high stakes basketball. You know, it's so much fun, bro. So much fun. Every possession means more. The crowd is way more just gnarly, like more radical. Like my Cali is showing right there. Gnarly.
Gnarly and radical there. Cali boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just being cool, calm, and collected, being poised, knowing that everything that's happening in the moment you had already prepared for.
Outside of the obvious from the finals run, did you have a particular favorite moment?
Just playing in Miami. I mean, it's still part of the finals run, but like I think we went up 3-1, and I was like, oh, okay, I think we're about to do this. And like having that dawn on you, that was pretty cool. I think another like cool moment, I know I've said this before too, like me and Jeff Green, we played together in Orlando and it didn't work out. And then having to come back to Denver together and like win again together, that was dope, you know, because Jeff's my dog.
Do you remember watching that run, what your thoughts were?
Yeah, they were going to win. That was my thoughts.
That's what
they were just better.
Like, it didn't seem, I mean, maybe we're remembering wrong. It seemed like you guys were fairly comfortable the whole way through. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of like, oh shit, they're on the ropes at all.
No, we were ready to keep playing. You know, after we won, we were like, all right, let's go.
All right, give us another series.
Exactly.
Like, you know, when you play pickup,
Yeah.
you play pickup and you win a game, you got to validate. You're like, yo, bring us somebody to validate this championship real quick.
Bring somebody else. We're rolling. Everybody was.
It was funny.
Feeling
It was like
good.
from like a fan perspective a little bit. You were like, you're kind of like, these guys are too good. Like it's like you're swatting everyone. Even my respect to Miami for getting to the finals as an 8 seed, but like, I don't think anyone, including Miami fans, were like, oh, we're actually going to win this series.
Yeah.
And so it seems rare. I mean, the last couple playoffs and finals have not been like that. You know, last year, it's like no one knew what was going to happen. And so it's rare when one of those things happens and it feels that, I don't know if like smooth is the right word, but it just feels like you just kind of went in, took on all challengers, and then just like
nothing unexpected.
Had your parade. Thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring the show. DraftKings Sportsbook just launched in Missouri, and I'm pumped to tell you about it. Missouri fans, you've been waiting for this. DraftKings is officially live in the Show Me State, and the timing couldn't be better with the NBA season in full swing. I mean, we're seeing incredible performances night after night. The in-season tournament is bringing playoff intensity in November, and now Missouri Hoops fans can get in on all of the action. DraftKings Sportsbook opening in Missouri, very exciting news. Shout out to my Missouri friend and friend of OM3, YM3, Sophie Cunningham. Just got off the phone with her a couple of hours ago. This is very exciting for the state of Missouri. I think the thing that I was thinking about in terms of this from the NBA perspective is you got to pick a team. Thunder are an option, Mavericks are an option, Bulls are an option. I feel like the beauty and the curse of the Midwest is you can really kind of decide whatever direction you go in, and you can change your mind depending on the day. Very exciting for the state of Missouri that DraftKings is opening up there. Excited to get out there and maybe do some events there later in the year. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TEAM3. That's code TEAMTHREE. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I'm new to Denver, right? Tell me what I need to know about the city. What do you like about it? Maybe what do you dislike? We can cut the dislikes if it's too gnarly. Do I feel like a Cali dude talking about gnarly?
Gnarly, you gotta.
Trendsetter.
How has it met your expectations? How has it exceeded them? Like, just give me like a little beginner guide to Denver.
It's such a sports town, so I feel like it was kind of different in Brooklyn. Like you could probably go out to dinner and kind of like move around. And
Probably. I don't think we ever got stopped.
That's what I'm saying. So it'd be like, even if they do, it's gonna be like, yo, what's up, Cam?
Yep.
Like, do your thing. In Denver, they're gonna be like, holy shit, it's Cam Johnson.
You're a human. Well, why are you not in your uniform?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you not getting jumpers up right now? No, it's not like that, but they're going to be so excited to just see you, so excited to be a part of you, part of like the whole energy and like the whole like synergy of it is just different. They bleed sports in Denver between the Broncos, the Rockies, the Avalanche, and the Nuggets, and even the Rapids. You know what I mean? Like, so that's super cool. It's a different feel than like some of the bigger cities like New York, LA.
Mm-hmm. You've done one of the cooler things that I've seen in the NBA in terms of making a home in a city, making a space in a city. And we talked about this the other day, right? You talked to me about how can I do something a little different? How can I make my setup, match my energy, match my vibe where I'm at in life? And I just thought that was really cool how you did that. Now, walk me through that a little bit. You're a warehouse guy, right?
Yeah. Really big on industrial building and industrial commerce. And just industrial real estate. Big on industrial real estate.
Yeah. How did you come to that conclusion? Like what in your head was like, forget like a traditional brick and mortar home, forget, those types of real estate. Like what stood out to you about that?
I like the creativity aspect of it, kind of like this spot that we're in right now. Yeah. You're free to kind of just do whatever you want to do. Call it like a ware home.
Yeah.
So went on LoopNet that shows you all the industrial real estate and whatever city that you're in, you could buy it. And then you just like trick out the inside. So I just turned it into like a loft, put a half court in there, move my cars in, got a pool table, dice table, just satisfying my inner child, my inner basketball child. Yeah. It's really fun, bro. It's really fun. Let's do one in Phoenix.
Let's do it.
I feel like
Wait,
that's the
where do you
next-
go to find these warehouses?
I'm gonna say it's called LoopNet.
I feel like by the time the Scottsdale house is finished, you're gonna be like, I'm selling
We're still
it.
working on it, Tommy.
Yeah,
We're still working on
do
it.
It's so fire.
How would you, if at all, change the dunk contest?
I just probably put it out of 100. Instead of 10.
Yeah.
Then it could be like point differential would be like more specific. Okay, this is a 96. This is a 98. This was 100. Then it comes down to a matter of a couple of numbers.
I mean, there was been a lot of complaining. The internet complains about everything, but there's a lot of complaining about All-Star Game. Also, a lot of complaining about the dunk contest in general. And I feel like people bring up, especially you and Zach, as like, oh, this is the most recent golden era. You know what I mean? Like this is when it was good, and then since then, everyone's been complaining since then. But do you feel like that is like there's a real problem, or kind of is like in a fine place, and it's just like people just need to kind of get over themselves?
It'll be all right. Dunk contest will be fine. I think Zach and I was the culmination of a generation watching Vince Carter and Michael Jordan, and seeing all of that, and then trying to do something that's way more ridiculous than that. So I'm pretty sure like in a couple of years, there's going to be a generation that comes up and does something freaky, in the dunk contest and sets it off again. Because there's been some good dunk contests, but there was a lull,
Yeah.
Zach set it off and it'll happen again.
I wanted to ask about, and I feel like you probably both have different perspectives on this, and people have called you both in different situations like a glue guy, just somebody that, like I was saying before, like jack of all trades, but somebody that you just need to have on a winning team. Do you have a broad kind of definition of what you think a glue guy needs to do, even if they're doing it in different ways?
Make open shots. That's a big one. You got to be able to dive on the ball that's bouncing, and it's a 50-50 ball and you're the first one to the floor. I think that's a big one for a glue guy. Being able to guard multiple positions is a big one as a glue guy. And then offensively, know every position. Not have to play every position, but know.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is being reliable. Like your teammates know what they're going to get from you. Your coaches know what you're going to get from you. You know what you're going to give to the game night in and night out. Like for me, a lot of my career has been defined by shooting. It's how I got to this level. It's how I stuck on this level. But still, like the things that beyond that have propelled my career have just been something. Being a worker, like I said, being reliable, understanding the game, understanding objectives, understanding, kind of what it takes to win at a baseline level, and then like just thoroughly doing your job from there. I think there's plenty of ways that you can kind of accomplish being that. And it's not a bad thing, like at a certain point, you have to be extremely real with yourself about roles in basketball, right? Because you can't have the ball in your hand 100% of the time. Every guy can't. And I like to tell people this, like there's a lot of really talented basketball players in the world, but there's only 450 around there NBA players. And there are a lot of guys that are qualified at a talent level. So how do you separate yourself, right? How do you separate yourself? And so for me, like that idea of being a glue guy is just kind of my way of how I was able to separate myself.
I feel like it's got to be nerve-wracking, like having a career predicated on making or missing shots.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. It is. It is.
I bet.
Damn it.
I fucking bet. If I miss a couple of shots here and there, they're like,
Go get you a dunk, a stop.
Exactly.
All good. You hit a couple. Look at me now.
Exactly. It's just icing, you know what I mean? For you, it's like, oh shit, this motherfucker needs to go in tonight. Damn.
Yeah, man. Like as a shooter, man, I'll tell you what, nothing's worse than when you're like 0 for 7 from 3. Like, what am I doing out here, bro? Like, what am I doing? But that's why I say, like, I got this question in media the other day. Like, you haven't made that, like, you haven't made a high percentage of shots in preseason. Like, are you okay? It's basically what the question was.
God.
And I'm like, yo, listen,
So frustrating.
I'm never going to make 100% of them. I'm going to be ups and downs. Like, over the course of the season, I'll shoot hundreds of threes. Like you can't ever focus on 15 and think I either have it completely figured out or I completely forgot how to shoot. And that mindset, like it's not like I can talk about the mindset of a shooter all day long. Like it's a work in progress. We've talked about this plenty of times. But like I have to constantly remind myself of that. So like I'm reminding the media, but I'm also reminding myself like, hey man, trust yourself, trust your work, do what you do, and come back and shoot them again. And maybe one day they'll stop falling, you know, but every time I've had a slump to this point, I've been able to reverse it and find my footing again. And so I kind of just try to rely on that as best I can, even though it's hard. Like you said, it's hard, it's nerve-wracking. But when it works, when you're hitting, like it is easy.
Yeah, brother. I think there's something to be said about the guy that goes 0 for 10 and stops, or the guy that just goes 0 for 100 or 0 for infinity. You know, I want the guy that goes 0 for infinity.
Yeah.
I don't want the guy that goes.
I've had those games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want that. I don't want the guy that goes 0 for 10 and then stops, because to me, that's like that's not confident enough. I need the guy that goes 1 for 100 and shoots it just like he didn't miss, didn't make. You know what I mean? That's the dude I want on my team.
It does take some nerves though, but
hell yeah.
Something about that mental side of the game, like it is just a never-ending process of trying to figure it out, and you'll always be doing that. And you learn to have fun in it, and you learn, you know, a portion of yourself you got to let go, and then a portion of yourself you got to grab onto stronger. You know what I mean? Like dig deep, but also like, hey, you know, water off your shoulders, brush it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what a fun life we got, bro.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Like, look, I mean, like you're just
top 3.
Like, right. Like, you know, you just create your life, curate your life at the pace you want. Then we get to be able to play in front of thousands and thousands of people. And, you know, we just have the unique ability that, like you said, you say we're out at dinner and somebody, you know, is excited to come see us. Like we have the unique ability to take 20 seconds, 30 seconds of our time and make somebody's day. So at the end of the day, bro, just so blessed to play this game. And, you know, for me, that kind of just ties back into being traded to Denver. Like I was in a situation where we weren't winning much. I get traded, just answering a phone call one day. And it's like, wow, suddenly you're back in a contention circle. You know, you turn on ESPN and it's like, okay, like Denver makes a move, you know, trade with Brooklyn, and I'm getting phone calls and people are telling me congrats.
Yeah.
Right, answer the phone. You're telling me congrats. We have won 0 games so far as the Nuggets. Like, and all I did so far as a Nugget is answer the phone when my agent called to tell me I was traded. So, you know, for me, it's just super awesome being your teammate, being teammates with the guys that we have. It's just preseason, bro, but seeing how efficiently we can play, how quickly we can score, all the things that we can do as a group. And like, it's cool because we kind of have a clear idea of like, this group has won a championship. You obviously know what it takes, but there's like an IQ around the building that's like, we know this where we're at currently and the steps that we need to take along the way. Like, you know, we're talking about defense, and I'll talk to the assistant coaches about this defensive scheme, that defensive scheme. And they're like, yeah, this is an evolutionary process where we have goals where we want to be at 20 games, 40 games, 60 games, 80 games, and into the playoffs. Like this is the beginning. So to have a group that you have the awareness of, here's where we are, here's where we want to be, and here's how we can accomplish that. Like it gives me a lot of confidence as a new guy on the team, where that I feel like a lot of that guesswork is almost taken out. Like a lot of that, where I just feel comfortable. Like, all right, my job is to keep myself physically healthy, step on the court, play hard, and do what I do. And the rest will take care of itself.
Brother, the best advice that I could give you is a cliche, but it's stone cold facts. Just be Cam Johnson. Be yourself. That's it. That's all we need. You know, and everything else will take care of itself. And at the end of the day, I believe we're going to be the ones that walk off with a win. We'll be the last team to win. You know, everybody else is going to hold an L at the end of the season, except for us. We're going to be the ones to win at the end of the season. All you got to do is just be yourself. All right.